Can Trump really break American democracy? That question sounds extreme. It's a question people would have dismissed or even never asked 10 years ago, as it would have sounded overdramatic, paranoid, or just political theater. But after everything we've watched, especially over the past 18 months, I think it's a legitimate question normal Americans are allowed to ask. Because the issue is not whether Trump can legally declare himself president for life. That's not the real question. The real question is whether he can weaken the system so badly that America still has elections, still has courts, still has a Congress, and still has the symbols of democracy, but stops functioning like a normal constitutional republic. That's the real question and the real danger. Democracy does not always collapse in one dramatic moment. Sometimes it gets worn down slowly, one violation at a time. Sometimes the rules stay on paper while the people in power stop respecting them. Sometimes Congress still exists, but acts like a rubber stamp. The courts still exist, but the president treats every legal decision against him like an obstacle to be crushed. The agencies still exist, but they become loyalty machines. Meanwhile, the GOP still calls itself conservative while surrendering every principle it claimed to believe in. That is how a system breaks. It doesn't have to take tanks in the street or one speech where the president declares himself the dear leader. Sometimes it breaks because enough people with power decide that their careers, their access, their donors, their media appearances, and their fear of the base matter more than the country. And that is where we are heading. Trump has already shown us what he wants. He wants absolute loyalty, Congress to be a rubber stamp, opponents punished, and his critics intimidated. That is not how the American government is supposed to work. That is one man rule, wearing a red, white, and blue costume. And the most worrying part is not just Trump, it's the number of people around him who are making it possible. So this begs the question you have to ask: where are the Republican leaders who have always been the voices of reason, restraint, and constitutional order? Where are the GOP senators who know better? Or the congressmen that used to drone on in Biden's time about the Constitution? Where are the people who warned us for years about executive overreach and now suddenly having nothing to say? Because this is not just about Trump pushing, it's about the Republican Party folding. A president can try to grab more power, but Congress is supposed to push back. The courts are supposed to push back. Cabinet officials are supposed to serve the Constitution, not the president as an individual. But if everyone folds, how in the world can the system save itself? People think America is too strong to break. They think the Constitution protects itself. They think the elections will keep us free from falling apart. Way too many Americans think someone somewhere will eventually step in and stop the damage. But that's just fantasy. A constitution is only as strong as the people willing to defend it. Checks and balances only work if somebody willing to check and balance. And right now, too many Republicans are acting like their job is not to govern, not to oversee, not to defend the country, but to protect Trump from consequences. That is how democracies get hollowed out. The forms remain, the flag remains, the elections remain, but the spirit of the system starts to die. And once it happens, it's very hard to get it back. This is why I get so frustrated when people reduce this entire question to, can Trump run again or can he stay after this term? Those are fair questions, but they're way too narrow. Trump does not have to stay forever to break the system. He can do enormous damage while he is here. He can normalize the idea that every institution should answer to him. He can teach the next Republican nominee that the party will accept almost anything as long as the base is angry enough. And if nobody stops that, then yes, he can break American democracy. That's the real danger. And no one's saying this does not mean that you hate America. It means you understand America is not immortal. America is not protected by slogans or flags on a lapel. America is protected by people who are willing to defend the system when it is under pressure. And right now, the pressure is coming from the inside the House. The Republican Party has become too afraid of Trump to defend his own stated principles. The DNC is too weak and too disconnected to build a serious national response. And far too many people with money, power, and influence are watching this happen like spectators instead of creating a bulwark against Trump's actions. This moment requires adults with real courage. It requires people willing to say that the presidency does not belong to Donald Trump. It belongs to the American people. The government does not work for him. It works for the country. And loyalty to one man is not patriotism. It's the opposite of patriotism. So can Trump really break American democracy? Yes, if enough people let him. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to this video. It really helps us out a lot. I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.